Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. Today we're going to make a diary program. We've done it before in idle, but today we're going to take it to the next level and we're actually going to build our diary program inside of a graphical user interface. Now that's known as a GUI for short, or some people call it a GUI. Basically it's a window. So most programs you're used to, PowerPoint, Excel, any of those programs, they all operate inside a window. It's not just text commands being printed to you. You've got buttons to click, drop-down menus. Now that's exactly what we're going to create today. So I'll give you code a much more professional look. Now the first thing we need to do is import a library of code called tkinter. Now I've imported all of the code. It's not the most efficient way of doing it. However, it does make things quite quick and easy for making our program today. But just bear in mind, if you want to do this professionally, it's better practice to only import the modules you're actually going to use, because the more code you've got running in the background, eventually the slower your code will run, particularly on machines that aren't particularly high spec. Okay, so next thing to do, we make an object from the library of TK. And that's going to be, we're just calling it mGUI. It's short for my GUI. You can call that something different, but just be aware, you can call it window, but just be aware that if you call it something else, wherever I've got mGUI, you'll have to use whatever variable name you've chosen. Next thing we're going to do is set the size of the window. I've chosen 450 by 450. It's a reasonably good size. If you want to change that, by all means experiment with some different sizes to find one that suits yourselves. Next, we're going to put a title. So again, it's just to make it look more professional, to actually have it named. It looks quite good. Next thing we're going to do is make a menu bar object. So these are menu bar objects that you can see here. We're going to make our own. So the first thing we do is make the object and we give it a name. So I've called it menu bar because it makes sense. But again, you could just call it menu. Next we make the drop-down list. So we start off by making the menu, and the second thing we do is then we make the actual drop-down list. I've set the tear off to 0 at the moment, meaning you can't click and drag it around. You can set it to 1 if you want to do that, that's fine. And we then add the label. So you make the actual bar, then you make the drop-down, and then here we go, new file. That's one of the labels. Our label is going to say open in idle, because one of the commands I want our program to have is for you to be able to open your diary in idle or in Notepad. Next we add the actual menu to the menu bar, so we put the two together, and finally we make it visible. Lastly we start the main loop. Now this always has to go at the bottom of your code. Don't start adding code after this because it won't run. Basically this loop is going to keep this running, keep this running, keep this running until you click on the X and actually close it down. Now once you've got the code in looking like I've got it here, again just be careful you don't miss up any speech marks, be careful, get this quite accurate. You should find when you run it you get this. So this is our GUI, it's 450 by 450, so as you can see it's quite a nice size. We've got successfully our menu, and we've got our drop down open and idle. Now if I click on that, it doesn't do anything yet because, well, quite simply we haven't programmed it to do anything yet. We'll do that in the second tutorial. So have a practice with this, have a play with the sizes, try a couple of different sizes to get the size that you think's appropriate, and then once you've done that, move on to the next tutorial and I'll show you how to start building this so we can actually write some functions to allow us to write to file, and we'll add some more buttons and so on in here. Well, thanks for listening, hope you enjoyed that, see you next time, bye for now.